Hi guys, how's it going? Rob at Groove User here again, and in this video I want to talk to you about how to make your GroovePages website look good on mobile and other devices such as tablets and anything other than a desktop view. So one of the issues lots of people are having is they're coming into GroovePages, they're designing their website and it looks great, but then when they're looking at it on a tablet or on a mobile, the formatting is completely jumbled up and not what they're expecting, and they're finding it hard to control the outcome. So I'm going to show you in this video how to optimize your GroovePages website for mobiles and tablets, and the tools that it revolves around are right at the top of the screen. So we're in GroovePages here, and you've got these 5 icons at the top. So the default is the desktop view here on the right, and as we go down to the left, you've got the laptop view or notebook. And you've got a horizontal tablet, vertical tablet, and a mobile. So the idea is that you select whichever one you want, and you can see, as I click through these, you can see how your site looks on other devices as this sort of dummy browser window changes. So you can see this is in the shape of a phone, and as I scroll down, everything is a bit in a bit of a mess. It's not as nice as our original site. You can see text is going out beyond the page, which has given us this horizontal scroll bar, which will mean that your display will be all over the place on a phone. People will be trying to scroll down and it will be moving left and right. So it's obviously not what we need. Now, when people are coming in and making changes, what they're trying to do is they'll click on this device, for instance, and then they'll try and say center this text or whatever. And they'll go back and realize that it's done it to the whole, to all devices. And the reason is because these are all still pink. If you look at all these icons, they're pink. So if I click on the desktop view, and by clicking on it once, all you're doing is viewing that particular type of device. If you want to actually make a change, you need to click on the device once, and then again, until it goes pink on its own, or this sort of dark pink, red color. And all the others are not highlighted. And when you're selected on that one and it's highlighted and it's the only one highlighted, then that's when you're making changes to that device alone. So I hope that makes sense. That's the biggest hurdle at the moment that people seem to be facing. Now, that's not the end of the issue, because there is another complication, but once you know about it, it's fine. It doesn't really apply so much when you're using the templates, but when you've built a site from scratch, like we have in GroovePages, and you bring in any elements from this side here, so any of our, like we've got H1 up here, we brought in paragraph text, anything like that, as you drag it in, its default setting is to be left aligned. Now, everything has to have a default setting, it's just the way it is. So in GroovePages, it's left aligned. But when you click on any of these, it doesn't actually register as having, like if I look on this menu on the right hand side, this text isn't actually set on left aligned. It's not highlighted. And most of the time when people bring in an element, it looks good. Okay, I'm happy with it left aligned. Why would I need to go in and click left aligned? But it's the best way to try and make sure that your design stays consistent, because if you don't do that, if you don't go in and actually select left aligned, even if it already looks okay, then when you go and make a change to another device, as soon as you change anything from the default, it will change across all devices, regardless of whether you've got just that device selected for editing. So let me show you what I mean. So this title here, there's nothing selected, okay? It's not left aligned in the text, but it is physically left aligned because that's its default setting. Now, if I go down to the mobile view and I click twice, so I'm just editing the mobile. If I click this now and I go centered, click it centered, brilliant, that's okay, looks great. Now I go back to the desktop view, it's centered that as well. So if I click on it, you can see it's now highlighted, centered. So what I need to do now is on my desktop view is go back and left align it. And I go back to my mobile view, that hasn't changed, that's okay. So if I go back a couple of steps, so that's left aligned. Now, if I were to in my desktop view, when I'm building my website, normally I bring in my element. I think, yeah, I want my text left aligned, but I'm going to go into text and I'm going to click left align first so that it's highlighted. I've actually given it that property. Then I go in and edit my mobile device. I click on the text. I click centered. Now when I go back to my desktop device, that hasn't moved because I've already overridden the default setting with a physical property, which is this left align. Now it's a very subtle point, but I hope that makes sense because it's going to save you a heck of a lot of time when you're actually going backwards and forwards, editing your sites and optimizing your GroovePages sites for mobile. So what we can do now is look at the other devices and see how it looks. So let's go to laptop view, and straight away we can see that these containers here are right up against the left edge, which we don't want, and our logo's against the edge. Let's go down. There's some alignment issues here. That's not too bad, that section. We can change this a little bit. So that's okay. Let's look at the horizontal tablet. So again, the same problem there. These are all up against the edge. Some alignment here. This is gone up against the edge here. Okay, and let's look at the vertical tablet. Now what happens here, because this is a 2-column layout, if I go back here, this is a container which has got a 2-column layout in, 2, 2, if we look at the bottom there. Now when you go to a narrower view, these columns end up stacking. So what it means is you get one on top of the other. So this is column 1, column 2. And because, if you remember, we set this to be aligned off to the right, and this off to the left and to the top, it's doing the same thing here. So we need to make sure that that's fixed. So we can do that. We'll do that in a minute. Again, these need a bit more. See how they've stacked in line? They need some space in here. This is a little bit uneven between those two. As we go down, we just want to bring in this text, I think, a little bit. Some space in here. Okay. And the mobile view. And we've already centered our text, but so the logo, this text here needs to be centered and reduced. And that's about it. Okay, so let's go back to the top, go back to our desktop view, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do. So I think the first thing we'll do is let's sort out this. If I click on laptop view twice, that would take me to edit laptop view, but what I want to do is edit every view up to and including laptop view. So I'll click it again, and now I've got these 4 highlighted. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to sort out this, the way these boxes are touching at the edge, and it's doing it on all 4 devices. So any change I make will be across the board. So the first thing I'm going to do is select this block here, and I'm going to add a little bit of padding. So I'm going to click on spacing, click left and right, and I'm going to bring that in to, let's do the same as the top, so we've got an equal border top and side, to 2 rem. So let's go down, we'll do the same with this one. There we go, and the same with this one. Just like that. And then while we're here, we want to give this block some padding just at the top, just to move it down away from the block above. So just like that. And then we want to make sure that these are all equal in height. So we can check the size, that's on auto. And that one. And that one on auto, there we go. And what we'll do is we'll just bring these down so that they're level. Just click and drag the handle. just like that. As we come down the page, now this text here goes way too close to the side. So I think what we'll do here, if we add padding to the edge of the block, we're going to end up bringing these in. So in this situation, the easiest way is to probably bring a container in like this. I'll show you. So click on Elements, Container, bring in that container. Then we'll drag this text up into that container. Make sure we've got the container selected. And we'll go Size, and relative to parent, we'll bring that down to 85. Now that text is a bit big, so let's click on that. And then we can bring the font size down a little bit. So that's okay. Let's move down. Let's just save quickly. These look all right. Now with this section here, we might want to increase the size of the form. So at the moment it's 50% of our parent size, which is the size of the block above it. So we'll just bring that up a little bit. So that's okay there, we're happy with that. This looks okay. We've got some alignment going on here. There we go. So they look okay. And these two at the bottom look okay as well. So we're happy with our laptop view. So let's just check back to our desktop view to make sure that any changes we made in here haven't affected anything that was in default view without anything actually applied to it. So let's go and have a look. So this is all left aligned, that's okay. This all looks okay. Everything there's all right. Everything's lined up. I think that stayed, yeah, that stayed as it was, 50%. And we're okay here. Right, brilliant. So now as we go down, so we're happy with our laptop view. So that's all sorted. Now let's go to the tablet view, the horizontal tablet, and have a look. So that's looking better than it was earlier. Right, we've got some alignment issues here. Let's just have a look down the page. Still got the alignment over here. Let's look at the vertical tablet. So that's not an issue there. And there's something going on with the alignment there. So let's have a look at this. I'm going to select from the horizontal tablet downwards. So I'm going to click it twice. So I've got those three highlighted. Right, let's look at this section. So you can see this one here on the left is touching the side. This one here isn't, and it looks to be a bit smaller now that we're in this view. And all three of these are a bit smaller down here. So let's have a look and see what the settings are in each of these 3x3 layouts. So spacing, there's nothing there. Nothing there. And in that one, we've got a 0.25 padding there. So let's take that off. Let's fix that. So let's do the same to these to keep it consistent. So we go upper level. Sorry, not layout. In spacing. So there's nothing there. We've got 0.5 on this one. Let's take that down. And then on this one, nothing. So now everything is up to the edges, as you can see. So what we want to do to fix that now is we'll go upper level. So we're actually on the container, the 3x3 layout within the container. And let's give that whole thing some padding. Do the same to this one. So we go upper level, up another level, till we're on the 3x3 layout. Padding 1.5, there we go. So that's sorted that out. This again, it looks okay, but I think we need to bring that out in size now on this device. It's better, we only really want 2 and 2 lines if we can help it. And this now has gone over 4 lines, and I think to bring this text in on the desktop view, we use padding again on that one. So let's go into the padding, left and right, and let's bring that down so that we're over 3 lines like that. There we go. And then this down here looks okay. Okay, let's save that. Let's go back up the top, and let's now go to our vertical tablet and have a look. So the first thing we need to sort out is this logo. So I'm going to click vertical tablet once and twice, because this is going to affect the mobile as well. And I want to now that we're in one line, I want to start centering this text. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to click center, I'm going to click in here, I'm going to select all because I've got 4 lines separated by return breaks, center that text. I'm going to click in this container here, and if we go to layout, we're set for right aligned on the layout, the vertical layout. I want it to center like that. So that brings the logo to the center of the page. Now this text here is way too big. So let's bring that down to there, 2.25. And I think we can bring these down as well in size. Let's see what these are. If we set that to auto, so let's make sure that one's set to the same. Size, auto. This one needs to be changed. You can see that straight away. Auto, there we go, that looks much neater already. Okay, let's go down. So we've got our services section here. So this is looking okay on here. We might want to bring this text in a little bit just so that it's not so wide. So what we can do there is on this, if we go up a level, on this 3x3 layout, we can go to size and we'll bring it down to 85%. So that looks much neater already. This text here we need to just, because this is finishing on one layer, we might need to just bring this one in a little bit more. So we'll give this a little bit of padding at the edge. So we get an extra, we don't just want one word finishing at the bottom there. And that one's okay. Now where we've got these 3, we're in a group. Now we come to the next ones. You see how these are right up close to the top here, this last bit of text in that image. So let's just see what these ones are set at. So there's nothing there. Let's see if this one's got a margin on it. 2.5 margin, there we go. So we want to do the same here to the bottom to make it consistent. 2.5. Same here. And that's okay. And this one here looks like it's a bit of a big gap here. So let's look at this block. And we've got 3.5 above it. So let's bring that down to there. 2.5, and now that keeps it consistent where we switch from the first row of 3 to the second row of 3. They now look the same. And then we've got this same thing here with one word at the bottom. We don't want that left there really, so let's just go in there and increase the padding a touch. There we go. That's all okay. The form, now we're into vertical tablet and mobile. I think we can center these. And because these were defaults, we're going to go and have to have a look and make sure that hasn't changed our defaults on the other pages. This here, again, we've got quite a lot of padding on this, so we can bring that down now in this view. Get that onto 3 lines if we can. There we go. And then now these want to be, they want to be on the left really. They're okay. And this has stacked up nicely here, so we've got those centered. Okay, so let's just save that. If we now go back to desktop view, select it twice. Now you can see, because there weren't any defaults on this one, when I centered it over here, it's changed it over here like we said earlier. So what I need to do is go into both this one, click the text, go left, and this one, and that's already done it. So when you in this laptop view and you change something that's changed because it didn't have a default, if you then give it a default, the one above it will actually get the attribute as well once you give it to it. So let's just go down and make sure nothing else has changed. That looks okay. All the images are the same size. So this was defaulted. It had no attributes on it, so it defaulted left. I've changed it to be centered in the vertical tablet view, and because there was no parameter attached to it in desktop view, it's automatically changed it. So let's go to the laptop view here twice to change it. Now click in there, click left, same with that text there, and you'll see that's also changed the desktop view as well. Let's double click, make sure we can see everything else. This is all okay, and this is okay. So now that's everything fixed there. And just go down and check. That's all good. Horizontal tablet. That's fine. To be centered on there. We might just bring this down a touch on this one. So just this view. I'm going to bring the text size down a little bit. There we go. And then we'll go into vertical tablet. So we're happy with that. Happy with that. That's all okay. These are all lining up nicely. All of our services are okay now. Form is all alright, and you'll see as well we've lost that horizontal scroll bar that was at the bottom here, which was causing us problems. And that was there because of the spacing of some of the text was actually going beyond the edge of the what is our page size. It needs to automatically put in a scroll bar, which we always want to avoid. So if you ever got anything like that, it's normally the spacing, alignment, or padding or margin, something like that, that's causing that. So you just need to scroll down to find whatever looks like it's going off the page. And I think in this case it was our it was this text originally was going way off over here on the vertical tablet view, and it was making us have a scroll bar at the bottom. So let's just check mobile view. That looks good. Logo's in the middle. Right, I want to change this one here to be centered. So that's centered. This one isn't. So I'm just going to click in there, center. Make sure everything has stayed centered, which it has. Back to mobile view. That's all okay. That's all okay. That's all okay. Now we've got something strange happening here. So if we go back to this view, that's all okay. But now we go to mobile only view. We've got this horizontal scroll bar. You see, all of this is off the page. So what we need to do is click in here. Make sure we're on the container. Let's just have a look under layout what we've got. If we do vertical, that's now brought that back into alignment. So that was off. So that was all off the page. And it's trying to center everything up. So we don't want that. If we do vertical, it stacks it properly. We are just going to bring this text down a little bit. 3 lines, looks good. And let's just make sure that these actually work properly. And again, we've got these a little bit close down here. So let's click in here, go up to the container level, Give it some spacing, a bit of margin. Let's give it 2 here as well. Margin 2. That one works okay as it is. I believe we've already got a margin above this one, probably on the block. 2.5 there, so we're going to reduce that to 2 to make sure it's consistent with the rest as it flows down the page, so that we've got 2 REM after each of these. Let's check this one here. So we've got 2.5 here, so we want to go down to 2. Same with this one, take it down to 2. And this one's okay as it is. And the only other thing I just noticed is that this text here is coming in quite a lot. So if we go to the container, we go to size, that's all okay. Must be the spacing on here. Yeah, we've got 2.5 either side. So if we bring that down to, let's say, 0.5 looks good. So this is on the 3x3 layout. Do the same on this one. If I click on that layout, and take that down to 0.5 as well. Not only does that let the images become bigger, it's let the text flow a little bit better as well. Let's just make sure that that is going to break a little bit better there. There we go. Now this text is way too big here, we can see. So let's just go up to the container. On the spacing, we've got quite a lot of padding in here. It's actually too much padding for this box. So it's trying to give us white space, but it physically can't do it because this word is too big. So let's bring down the padding for a start, which will let our form fields become wider. We'll also need to increase the actual size of the form. So let's do that there. We're going to bring this text size down. And we're going to bring this text size down to there. And then we can also bring these down because that's a little bit big. .75 will do for those because they're only labels. Okay, and we'll make sure that these containers also have a small text size of the same, so that when people are typing in their details, it's not going to be huge. So it's not something you see on here, but when you start to enter information in it, you'd notice it on the actual page. And we'll also bring the size of that text down a little bit on the button. There we go. This here is way too wide. See, we've still got this this scroll bar. So let's go into this container, which is containing all of this, and let's just give it some padding, like so. We're going to bring this text down a little bit, and this one. Now normally I'd go through and make sure that whatever your title is elsewhere on the page, like these ones here, 1.875, you would try and make sure the same applies throughout the page, ideally, just to keep your design consistent. But that's not really what this video is about. This is more about actually trying to actually control the layout among different devices. So again, we've got, when these have stacked up now, we've got this where the containers are actually starting to get close to each other. So in this case, I'm just going to, this is another way you can do it. You can select the middle one if you've got a 3-column, 1, 2, and 3. Go spacing and select margin top and bottom, and you can just push those apart like so. Go 2 like we did on the others, and that's okay. And the other thing is these have stacked incorrectly down here. I'm going to click on the container for the text. I'm going to go layout, and I'm going to go vertical centered, and I'm going to do the same for this one. Layout, vertical centered. There we go. And we can see we've still got this scroll bar down here now, which we don't want. So obviously on a phone, if your finger is going down the page, your phone's going to be dancing all over the place. So let's see what could be causing that. The sizing of this container might need to actually come down a touch, because it's actually too wide. So let's bring it like that. We'll do the same with this one, to this container. The size is relative to the parent, 85%. If we go any higher, yeah, we get the scroll bar back. So the size on the container, bring that down. So that's sorted out that section. Let's just look at this one down here. And then we've got our form. And we want our padding inside there. There we go. Check this down here, make sure it's all okay. Brilliant. So I think that's it. As you can see, everything's lined up. There's no scroll bar at the bottom. As we go up the page, that's all looking good. Everything's in place. Logo there. Brilliant. So let's save that. And let's just go back, make sure all views are on. So quite an involved video, that one. Hopefully you followed it all okay. I think being able to optimize your GroovePages website for mobile devices or for all devices is really important, especially these days where everything is done. You've got so many people using a mobile device or a tablet for accessing websites that if it doesn't look good on a mobile, someone's going to go on your website and they're not going to be able to read half the text. They're just going to go away within seconds. So really, really important point to be able to optimize, for mobiles and tablets. And I know a lot of users have been frustrated with this feature purely because they didn't know how it works. But hopefully this video's fixed that for you now. You know how it works. Once you understand how something works, you can you're able to use it correctly, and you're going to have much more control over your websites and your pages. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Feel free to give it a like if you have, make some comments, just let us know what you think. Always like to hear what you guys think of our videos. If you've got anything else you want covered in future videos, then just send us an email, info@grooveuser.com. We're going to be doing lots more training videos, how-to guides on not just GroovePages, but the suite of GrooveFunnels software. So subscribe to the channel. There'll be lots more videos added. We'll put them in playlists so that you can navigate through them okay. They'll also be, eventually they'll be on the website grooveuser.com as well. Now, if you're watching this and you haven't yet got GroovePages, you haven't grabbed your free account, head over to grooveuser.com. You can sign up for that now. You get free lifetime access, and you can also check out the other GrooveFunnels tools as well. And I've got a couple of really cool bonuses for you guys on there as well, so you might want to check those out. In the next video, we're going to look at using some of the pre-supplied templates. So hopefully that'll be interesting to you. Come back for that one. And until then, take care, and thanks for watching. See you soon.